This is a review of the intake process for a program and services opportunity. Please keep in mind that you do not have to go through the intake form. If you prefer to enter into the fields directly, you are always welcome to do so. So I'm going to go ahead and navigate to a program and service opportunity. Select the intake form tab. Click next. Make sure that the right account is listed. Add in a primary contact because that is best practice. I'm not able to find the contact that I'm looking for, so I'm going to go ahead and create a new contact. Since this is just a demo, I'm creating myself. So now I can see here the existing industry listed at the account level. If I needed to change that, I would just select this box and it would allow me to change it. However, I'm happy leaving it as that. If the account that I was using had a city and state, those would be listed as well, but this is just a demo account, so there don't happen to be anything there. Please note that if you change the city and state here, it does not update at the account level. I'm then going to select the proposed date of the session and enter the total number of anticipated participants, as well as the type of audience. I can select an individual record. As you can see, it's moving around. Or if I'd like to select multiple, I'm just holding down Shift on my keyboard and it's doing a range. Or if I hold down Control, I can do individual. Click Next. Everything else from here out basically is optional. So it's just meant to capture what makes the most sense based on the conversation that you have. And remember, you can always edit or add more within the details fields when you're done. So if you don't capture everything or you capture something that you need to adjust later on, that's okay. Just capture what you can during your conversation. If they express an interest in a specific product, go ahead and select those products just so you have that referenced. Again, if it's multiple, hold Control or Shift, either to select in a row or individually. If you don't see the product that you're looking for, it's most likely not listed as a programs and services product. So go ahead and select yes, that they are interested in other areas, and you'll see all other products listed. If it's something that should be listed as a programs and services product, please notify Dominique or Arissa, and they can get that updated for you. And then answer any other questions that you would like to capture information for. And then next, it takes you through the target audience demographic. Keep in mind, this is not for the account in general. So not if it's a university, not the entire university campus demographics. This is the target audience of this specific workshop or seminar. And they are percents. So you would just want to enter if it's, college students and graduate students 50-50, that means 50% of your audience is college students and 50% is graduate students. Going through, you can enter as many of the demographics as you would like. And then this section is regarding the facilitator themselves. So if they have a preference in regards to the facilitator, they can enter any notes that they want here. Or if it's what's the facilitator's specialty areas, meaning they work predominantly with females or with Pacific Islanders or typically with young adults and families and employers, etc. Like this is, where is that facilitator's area of expertise, to make sure that if they don't pick a specific facilitator that they're preferring to work with, then they want to make sure they work with someone who's a good fit for this audience in this workshop. Once you have those selected, click Next. And then any documentation that needs to be sent, you can check those boxes. Then when you're done, It'll warn you that it's saving. Go ahead and click finish. And then you'll notice this says this has already been completed and you're no longer able to edit unless you go to that details tab. We're about to go there in just a second, but I want to point out one other thing. Please also notice that the stage automatically changed to intake completed up here because now I filled out this intake form. If you do not fill out the intake form, but rather opt to edit in the fields directly, the stages will not automatically change. So just make sure you come up here and change the stage to intake completed. So if we scroll down, we can see the intake information is in these detailed fields here. So the date and the person completing the intake were automatically populated because I use the intake form. These are editable. So had I not used the form or I want to make a change, I can come in here. Again, as I click edit, any field that's editable is now open and editable. So I can go ahead and change this name to whoever I want to show is responsible for completing the intake. And if I need to change the date for some reason, I can. So let's say I'm entering it in the system today, but I actually had the conversation last Wednesday. I could adjust this to last Wednesday. Okay. I can change any of the fields in here. That multi-select that previously was holding Control or Shift to select a range. Now you have arrows back and forth. So if I want to add college students, elementary students, oh wait, no, I don't want elementary students. I select it over here, click it back over to there. If I need to add a note, I can add a note here. I can adjust any of the answers to any of these questions. And I can also adjust any of the percent of the demographics that I need to. The same with the preferences for the facilitator section and the documentation requested. You can make a note here that there are 2 additional fields that were not available on the intake because the intake is currently being edited. So these 2 have not yet been added to the intake form, but they will be. And that is the EMHC application is needed, and then other documentation with a field to add the details. And then once the documentation has actually been sent as a follow-up, the date should be captured here. So if you're the one sending the documentation, come back in and enter that date so that there's no question of whether or not the follow-up was completed. If you're sending it via email, which I suspect that you will, you'll also want to tag it in Sirius, which I can't show you because I don't personally have that as I am not a Steve Fund employee. So make sure you tag that in Sirius so then the email will be visible here in your activity log over here on the right-hand side.